guys, Thugden here, and welcome to the most beautiful location where we'll ever film predictions. Take a guess where we are in the comments.
The Mull of Kintyre, Theo.
What? You're about to give it away straight away.
I'm sorry about that, but I had to. This is where I used to come on my holidays. Oh, wait a minute. There's a neighbour coming across the fence. Sir Paul McCartney. It's him again. Sir Paul, yes, you can borrow the sugar, but just wait till we finish filming.
Liverpool aren't winning this week, mate.
But less of the banter, because last week, Theo, 13 points, and I got 16. How can I beat you at Champions League predictions?
I'm making a comeback. I just needed the fresh air of Scotland to get my brain in the right mentality for the predictions. What's the first game?
Dinamo Zagreb against Glasgow Celtic, 23rd against 20th. Two teams pushing for the playoffs, Theo, and Zagreb were humbled last week. They've actually got a pretty poor home record.
Yeah, the last time they had a pretty bad home record, they went into a game in the Champions League against Monaco, expected to lose, and they got a big 2-2 draw because they need to step up, show their character in that difficult stadium, the worst Champions League ground. I think everybody can agree there in Zagreb. The Celtic fans will turn up, I'm sure, in their numbers. They've been very good so far, the Hoops, in the Champions League. And a point enough is probably enough for both teams to stay in playoff spots, which is way exceeding expectations. I mean, to get to the next round of the Champions League groups, that's something that both these clubs do not do every single year. Now, Dinamo have won 4 of their last Scottish matchups, so they'll be confident to kick on their form again.
That is true. What worries me about Glasgow Celtic, Theo, is their away record. 2 wins out of 41 in Europe, but we saw them actually last week against Aberdeen in the most atrocious conditions, and I thought Celtic were actually superb. Given the conditions, they played a wonderful game. You could always see them winning that 1-0.
Everyone sees Croatia as beautiful weather, but in this season it's really not. But if anyone's prepared for bad weather, it's Celtic. I just don't think it will happen here. We'll go for a high-scoring draw, 2-2.
I actually disagree with that, Theo. I think the Green Brigade will witness a very rare away victory.
Wow.
1-0 to Celtic. Girona against Liverpool now. Sir Paul, yes, we're talking about your team. 30th against first, Theo. I mean, Girona never played an English team, lost 4 out of 5. Surely Liverpool batter them.
Yeah, they just got the 10th defeat of the season at home to Real Madrid. The Los Blancos boys back to winning ways, but it's not good for the Red Whites. They've sold off all their best players. They had an incredible year last year. It's already 2 more defeats than they had the whole calendar season last year. So it's not good enough. Simple as that. How many will it be against Liverpool? Because they're rested up, aren't they, Dan?
Well, I'll tell you about Liverpool, Theo. The only 100% record left in this tournament. They've only conceded 1 goal in 5 games. Now, they slipped up domestically against Newcastle, but they're still top of the Premier League. I think this is an easy win. I don't think it'll be a cricket score. Girona 0, Liverpool 2.
I'm thinking they're winning this 3-0, and I can see them, maybe Luis Diaz and Darwin Nunez team up to smash in the Champions League.
Brest against PSV Eindhoven, 11th against 18th. And on a serious note, Theo, I'm getting sick of all the childish jokes about Brest, about the name of their club. It's time to nip it in the bud.
So, Dad, why do we never talk about the football club? All we talk about is the name.
I know, we are terrible, we are childish. But PSV Eindhoven, Theo, in 18th, but they've won the last 2 games. They're coming back strong, aren't they?
The problem with PSV is that they seem to not... Well, they score loads of goals. They've got 26 goals in 6 games. The performances recently from Noah Lang and Siberi are incredible. But when it comes to getting wins, they leave it late.
Yeah.
You saw what they did against Shakhtar, Dad. They had to score 3 late goals to turn it around.
Yeah.
So they're relying on moments, and we know how good PSV are from the Eredivisie this season. But Brest at home in the Champions League, they're perky, Dad. They're very solid.
They are, Theo, but I think PSV know how to handle Brest. I think they'll squeeze a win here, 2-1.
Oh, I just don't know. I'm gonna say that Brest share points with PSV, 1-1.
Shakhtar Donetsk against Bayern Munich, 26th against 13th. It is Ukraine against Germany. Now, Shakhtar Donetsk, Theo, struggling. 1-1, drawn 1, and lost 3. And 10 years ago, they lost 7-0 to Bayern Munich.
They did. Recently, it's only been 1 goal difference losses to teams like Arsenal, and they, of course, had another loss to PSV. But 3 losses and 1 draw is not good enough to get out the Champions League. If Shakhtar want any hope, they have to do it now. And as you say, the record isn't looking good. Bayern Munich will be hungry. Harry Kane potentially returns for this match as well. Will that be a threat?
Yes, that would be very good. They've missed him, haven't they, Theo? The problem for Bayern Munich is away games. They've lost 3 away games in a row.
They still beat Heidenheim 4-2.
That is true.
Whoever they play.
It's Heidenheim. That's like a village. That's smaller than Campbelltown.
The fact that's a Bundesliga fixture is crazy to me, by the way.
Oh, by the way, shout out to Campbelltown Football Club. You know who you are.
Back to Shakhtar Bayern. This match is taking place in the Veltins Arena, and if you know your football stadiums, you know that's Schalke, which is in Germany, which means Bayern don't have to travel very far. I think they're going to come here. They won't need a hotel. They'll just turn up, get the result, go home. 3-0.
Do you know what? Shakhtar 1. I give them a goal. Bayern Munich 3. Club Brugge against Sporting Club de Portugal is 22nd against 10th. And by the way, Club Brugge is in Belgium. Everyone knows that.
Everyone knows that now, right?
I mean, how would you not know that?
Let us know in the comments if you didn't know Bruges is in Belgium.
Bruges, Theo, unbeaten in 10 games in all competitions.
Yeah.
Can they surprise here?
Now, the Bruges we were predicting at the start of the Champions League with their new manager was a very different side. They've got the ball rolling, and it's a lad called Talbi who's contributed 4 in the last 3 games.
Wow.
Remember the name Talbi, all right? He's Bruges' man. So let's see if he can do it against Sporting. And it's a good time to play Sporting de Club Portugal because Amorim has left. Ruben Amorim's gone to Manchester United.
He's gone to a smaller club, hasn't he?
And he's gone to deal with losses and hatred and problems and sadness. No more naughty Natas, no more Pink Street, no more beautiful Lisbon in the morning. And what's left with that club, they're in a transition period. 3 games, 3 losses, and it's not looking great. And one of them was actually a 5-1 to Arsenal. It was a bit of a battering off the back of beating Man City 4-1 the Champions. Like, the turning of results is crazy. So I'm just going to have to go for a Bruges home win. Both teams to score 3-2.
Wow, I think this will be a 1-1 draw. RB Salzburg against Paris Saint-Germain is 32nd against 25th. 2 teams who lost last match day. Salzburg first, Theo. Not doing too well. Only scored 3 goals in this tournament.
No, not great so far in the Champions League, but the last time they played PSG at home, they won 2-0. And if history matters for anything, that's a good record. They need to do better than Leipzig, though, don't they?
They certainly do. Now, PSG, the last 12 seasons running, they've got to the knockout phases, haven't they, Theo?
Yeah, they always do.
But this time, 1 point in 4 games.
It seems like the new table is messing them up because losses counting on, knocking down the table, it's going to add pressure to what is a very high squad value and wage bill that the Qataris are paying for. And if they don't make the next few rounds of the Champions League, it could be a lot of Sakiko, shall we say. Salzburg expected nothing at home. You know, they've got 1 win in 7 games. It's 0 wins in 3 for PSG, so it's a stinker both ways. Coutinho in the midfield runs the show when he wants to.
Yeah.
I watched their game against Marseille this season on the telly box, and he was he was a tinker man. He picked and chose his moments. Barcola made a run, he pinged in the ball, he scored it. And I think that's going to be the story in this game because they're better than Salzburg. I'll give him a goal, PSG 3.
Do you know what, Theo? PSG to win this one, 2-0. RB Leipzig against Aston Villa, 34th against 9th, Theo. Both of these teams did not score in the last match day, so do not expect a classic. But Leipzig lost all 5 games, Theo. What is going on there?
Yeah, it's a bit of a shocker in the Champions League. It's now or never. They need to win to get into the playoffs, to then win that match to get into the qualifications now. I can't see them getting anywhere near top 8, and with the quality within that squad.
Yes.
I mean, you've got Benjamin Šeško, hungry up top.
Yeah.
Openda, ready to go. I mean, I don't have to mention all the Leipzig talent. It's on par with Villa.
Yeah.
Villa have a very good squad as well. They've got a couple wins recently to kick on their form. They went on an 8-game winless streak. But it feels like Unai Emery's turned that over, hasn't he?
Well, you say that, but I think they've lost the last 4 away games in all competitions. But let's look at this tournament, because only 1 goal conceded in 5 games. That's wonderful, isn't it?
I saw a little record. At home, Leipzig haven't kept a clean sheet in the Champions League since 2020.
Wow.
Can they keep Villa goalless, as you mentioned, considering their bad away record recently?
I'm going in favour of the British teams today, Theo. This is going to be Leipzig 0, Aston Villa 1.
Well, that makes sense because all the 3 games combining a German and English opponent this season has gone the English opponent's side, winning with no reply. And that's why I'm going to go different and say a 2-2 draw.
Bayer Leverkusen against Inter Milan is 6th against 2nd, one of the games of the week, and both of these teams won on the last match day. Bayer Leverkusen, Theo, one of the 7 teams on 10 points, won the last 5 games in all competitions. It's coming right, isn't it?
It is, and Xabi Alonso is not replicating what he did last year, but the unbeaten streak of 13 right now, scoring 5 at home in the last 2 of the last 3 matches, that's the team we know and love. That's the team that won the Bundesliga. I was there. We remember. Florian Wirtz running the show right now. He's back to scoring ways. Him and Boniface cooking Thogdad. Do they have enough to beat a solid Italian defensive Inzaghi mentality Inter Milan side, though.
Well, you said it, Theo, because Inter Milan in 5 games, Theo, what is that, 7.5 hours of football, conceded 0 goals.
It's just what Inter do. I think it's the history of the club.
Yes.
They might not score a load, but my God, is it hard to break them down. They're 0-0 away at Man City as well. They've got brilliant midfielders, hard-working like Barella. You just can't break it down, but if anyone's going to do it, it's Florian Wirtz.
I think this is going to be tight. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw.
I'm going to agree with you for the first time in this video, surprisingly. 1-1.
Atalanta against Real Madrid is 5th against 24th, Theo, and it's
I
the
just wanna give it a
Italians
clap.
and not the Spaniards who are 5th.
Let's give them a little clap.
Yeah.
Clap them, Dad. Clap them whilst I read out these stats. Unbeaten in the Champions League. No, keep clapping, Dad.
Oh, I'll keep clapping, yeah.
Just went 9 Serie A wins in a row.
Oh.
Lookman scored an 87th minute winner to beat
I'm
AC
clapping.
Milan in the last game.
Can I stop clapping now?
You can stop clapping.
All right, okay. Only conceded 1 goal in this tournament as well, Theo.
Incredible. They are just outstanding. Probably the shock of the Champions League. Maybe the dark horses. Or are they good enough? They just won the Europa League. They're not even dark horses, are they?
We shouldn't be surprised that they're top half there, but 5th is overachieving. Now, Real Madrid, I saw them against Liverpool, outclassed here. Of course, Mbappe missed his penalty, but overall, Liverpool were a better team. And for the first time, I'm thinking Liverpool, yes, Sir Paul McCartney, your team can win the Champions League.
Listen, every time you talk about Real Madrid, you got to put Liverpool in that same tier. It's them two against the world. But in this fixture, who will stop Atalanta? It's a Los Blancos thing, isn't it? If they're going to turn their form, this is their perfect opportunity to do so. Atalanta 1, Real Madrid 2.
Wow, you just insulted every single Atalanta player.
The Bergamo
I think that's a disgrace.
Ultras do not want me there.
They're coming to Campbelltown to find you. Anyway, this is going to be a 1-1 draw. Atletico Madrid against Slovan Bratislava, 15th against 35th. This is a mismatch. This is going to be like the gladiators in the Colosseum, Theo.
Oh my God. Except that is a curse. Like we didn't know the ending of the Gladiator movie. When Højlund whipped out that celebration at Old Trafford, they went on to lose 3-2 to Nottingham Forest.
Ooh.
So maybe Atletico should steer away from that celebration when Alvarez or Griezmann scores, because them two have been cooking. 18 goals in the last 4 games, both of them have scored in each of the last 4. Diego Simeone has now taken the team, well, this will be the 10th win in a row.
Yeah.
They've turned to be the best Spanish team on form right now, and they're dangerous.
Yes, they are, Theo. They showed that against Sparta with that 6-0 victory. And Slovan, what can we say? I think they've conceded 18 goals. They are the whipping boys. They're going to score 1 goal, but Atletico are going to score 4.
I love that. That celebration was
Good,
perfectly timed. 4-0 to Atleti. It'll be done.
And now the one we've all been waiting for. It's Lille against Sturm Graz. Theo, it's 12th against 29th. But both teams won last week, so let's show them some respect. Lille aren't bad, are they?
No, they're not. And actually, Jonathan David has now got 4 goals in 2 games, which is an unbelievable statistic for the Canadian. They're now on a 14-game unbeaten streak, Lille. I don't think it will stop here against Sturm Graz at home. Although, they just beat Spanish opposition. They just beat Girona 1-0, didn't they? They ended their bad run in the Champions League, didn't they, the Austrians?
That is true. Theo lost 4 and then won the last one, but Lille are going to win this one.
They will.
2-0.
Yeah, well, they ended a 6-game losing streak they were on in the Champions League. Now they're looking for back-to-back Champions League wins for the first time since 2001, the year I was born.
Wow.
So a message to Sturm Graz, do something that's not been able to be done for 23 years. But I'm not predicting it. Lille 2, Sturm Graz 0. Zagreb, masterclass.
Benfica against Bologna, 14th against 33rd. Over to you, Theo.
Well, the Portuguese are looking to get 6 in a row. I watched their last match against Monaco and they came back well, but at one stage it was looking bleak. They had 10 men Monaco for most of the game because our boy Wilfred Singo got a red card. Go watch it on the main channel. Unbelievable. We went out to watch him and he gets a red card. Anyway, we're not talking about Monaco. Benfica, with 10 men facing for most of the game, went in a losing position. Yeah, they conceded, which is embarrassing. Luckily, at the end, they came back. And Angel Di Maria was the creator, as he always was. He scored a perfect hat-trick in that 7-0 win against, I believe it was the name of the beer, Estrella or something. I think the team was called Estrella. It doesn't matter, they beat them 7-0. The problem for Bologna, they're okay in this area. They've only lost 2 games.
But what's going on in the Champions League? 1 point and 1 goal.
Dad, I think they're cursed.
Yeah.
They made the Champions League by the skin of their teeth, winning that game at the end of the Serie A to get top 4, and there were scenes in the city. This year, it's all gone wrong. They're the only side in the Champions League with 0 open play goals. That's 41 goal attempts. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to predict you to lose 1-0 here at the BTEC Emirates. Di Maria's going to figure a way out to create a goal, isn't he?
Benfica to win 2-0. AC Milan against Cervena
Zvezda.
Red Star Belgrade to you. 16th against 31st, Theo. Now, what's going to happen here?
Tough place to go, innit? San Siro.
Yes.
The old San Siro. And Milan they've won the Milan derby this year. They've done enough to keep him in fight for top 8 space in the Champions League. And recently it's been Rafael Leao, hasn't it?
It has,
with
Theo.
the most contributions since last year. And in recent games, he's got 3, I think, goal added additions in 4 matches. 7 of Milan's last 8 games have had both teams to score, so expect that again.
Yeah.
Will Red Star come in with a win? Because the last match in the Champions League, they beat Stuttgart 5-1.
And that is massive and totally unexpected. But AC Milan, like you said, Theo, started slowly, but have won the last 3. Red Star Belgrade conceded 17 goals in 5 games. But they score goals, don't they, Finn?
They do, and they have great memories in Italy, don't they?
Yes.
91.
Yes.
They won the Champions League in Bari. But outside of that, Italy hasn't been kind to them.
Yeah.
They've actually lost all prior 11 Champions League games in this country. And I think it's going to happen again. Rafael Leao brace. Milan 3, Red Star 1.
And I'm just going to say ditto. 3-1. Borussia Dortmund against FC Barcelona is 4th against 3rd. It's the biggest game of the week between 2 giants of European football.
Yep.
And the German Thogdad Ollie will be there.
He will be.
With expectation, Theo. Now, Borussia Dortmund, the 2nd highest scoring team, and they're playing the highest scoring team. I mean, this is going to be bonkers, isn't it?
Well, 3rd against 4th, both on 12 points, but nobody can rest easy given that there's 8 teams within 2-point gap of them.
Yeah.
It could all change around those qualification spots, and even as far as this week. Whoever wins this probably guarantees themselves top 8. The other team will be in a very weird mix that could all change in the final weeks. Now, if we're going off form, it's very hard to predict. Both teams have had iffy matches. Historically, when Dortmund face a Spanish side, they've never kept a clean sheet in all 9 head-to-heads. Now, Dad, there's one Dortmund man to mention in recent games, isn't there? Jamie Bino Gittins.
Theo, I think he scored 4 goals in his last 4 games.
Yeah.
He looks special, doesn't he?
He does, and he'll be hungry to do it some more.
Yeah.
To go on that consecutive run, I feel like only Brennan Johnson has done that in the Premier League. He loves to get a goal and just continues to do it game after game. But look, Barcelona, I had a reporter out in Betis, their last match with a 2-2 draw, and I got reported back from Matt that Betis were the better team.
Wow.
And even though they scored a last-minute equaliser, they should have won. To better off Hansi Flick's form, when he plays Borussia Dortmund, it's been perfect. 5 matches, well, managed, 5 matches won.
Theo, this is going to be sensational. If you can get a ticket to this, you're very, very lucky. A 2-2 draw.
I think it's going to go against Hansi Flick for once.
Wow.
I think Borussia Dortmund are going to pull out the win.
Wow.
2-1.
Feyenoord against Sparta. Prague is 21st against 28th. And Theo, we've got to talk about that comeback at the City of Manchester Stadium. Incredible.
Mad. And to do it in that fashion, 3-0 down to 3-3. Feyenoord away limbs. The Rotterdammers travelled not far to Manchester. And maybe that is the kick in the Champions League they needed. Sparta Prague at home is probably the easiest fixture of the Champions League calendar. It's a must-win at the Kuip, isn't it?
It certainly is, Theo. Do you know what? I might get straight to this because Sparta Prague, they got battered, didn't they? 6-0 last time round. They've lost the last 3. Could be a cricket score, 3-1.
And to score those goals, Santi Jimenez has returned from his very unfortunate hip injury. We know the Mexican is a goal scorer. I think he'll score here. Feyenoord, both teams have scored in 6 of the last 7 matches, and I think it will happen again. Feyenoord 3, Sparta 2. Rahmani to score, remember the name.
Juventus against Manchester City, 19th against 17th. 2 massive teams who are struggling in this tournament, Theo. What's going to happen?
It's 2 teams that are struggling in this tournament. When did we think we'd be saying that? Let's just flash back to the start of this Champions League season, Premier League season. Who'd have called Man City bottling it the way they have? Not just in the Prem, in the Champions League. The 3-3 against Feyenoord, threw it away. I think that's back-to-back games now where Pep's conceded 7 goals. In fact, Pep has never, in his illustrious career, conceded 2+ goals in 3 consecutive games. And this could be the first time he ever does it.
It's got to the point where Pep is getting angry with fans, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, well, that was actually a clip from last year.
Oh, was
but
it?
he is getting angry with reporters.
Ooh.
It's Rico, Liz. It's because it's Rico. You think it's a yellow? It's because it's Rico. We've seen the interview. Well, Rico Lewis will be hungry to come here and play. I think he's been one of the best players for Manchester City, and given he's now suspended in the Prem, he'll be focused on the Champions League, won't he, Dad?
That is a very good point. He's a good player, Theo, but he's got to learn not to argue with referees, not to insult referees. You're going to get a very soft yellow card.
That. Look, Thiago Motta's boys have been struggling lately. Their hopes of trophies are falling out the window in the Champions League and in the Serie A. It's 4 back-to-back stalemates. What's going on?
Well, Theo, I'm just going to get straight to my score prediction. 2 teams who I think might accept this scoreline. A 1-1 draw.
Yeah, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw as well here. I cannot believe that we're not predicting City to win. But Timothy Weah is going to score. He's been on fire in the Champions League.
Stuttgart against Young Boys of Switzerland is 27th against 36th. 2 of the whipping boys of this tournament. And
Yeah.
last week they conceded 11 goals between them. Not good enough.
Now, you wouldn't think that Stuttgart Young Boys would be the most interesting game in the Champions League, but I've got a very special story to tell you, Dad.
Yeah.
The last time we were at Stuttgart Stadium
Yes.
was Germany against Spain. And we were sat there in the stands for an amazing European semi-final next to a player called Nick Woltermader. And he was in the Stuttgart stands because he'd recently signed for them.
Ooh.
He's now what Flash Score call the man to watch after his brace to come back from 2-1 down to win 3-2 on Friday night against Union Berlin. I watched it on TV in the pub in England.
Wow.
And I sent him a video, and I'm so happy for him. He's one of my, I would say, friends now in this football space.
Yeah.
And he's gone on.
So
to
he's a football friend. Oh, friends, football friends. Oh, you got a friend. He's a football friend.
He's watching, Dad. You're going to mug me
Oh,
off.
I'm sorry.
We're
Yeah,
going
he's
to go to
brilliant. No, he's
Stuttgart.
great. Yeah.
We're going to go to Stuttgart and watch him live.
Yeah, but
and we'll have good seats thanks to him, so don't mug me off.
he is
bud.
your football friend, though, isn't
Hey,
he?
let's see Nick Woltermader score here against Young Boys. I'm going to go for Stuttgart 2, Young Boys 0.
It's going to be 2-0 to Stuttgart. And finally, last but not least, is Arsenal against Monaco, 7th against 8th. Two teams who are riding high. Now, we know all about Arsenal. Tell us about Monaco. It looks lovely.
Great place to be. Lovely F1 track. Nice hotels. But we're not talking about roads here. We're talking about football. And within the Emirates, there is a beautiful green grass carpet where Arteta will be glad to be back at home, because away from home, they've been a bit iffy, haven't they, Dad? Fulham, 1-1. What was that? What was going on there?
Well, Fulham are a good team, Theo. Do not underestimate them. But it's looking like a battle for second place between Arsenal and Chelsea. But I'm going to get straight to it, because I've got an appointment in a minute. It's going to be 2-1 to Arsenal. Yes, so Paul McCartney wants to play Scrabble. In fact, he's calling me. He's getting a bit upset. So you give your score, and
Arsenal
I'll see you
2-0
later.
Monaco. I want to break a like target.
You want to break your leg?
Enjoy this sunlight. I'm just going to walk off. I'm going to walk off. You'll never hear of me again, guys. Bye, guys. See you later.